Hello, folks. Welcome to another show. It has been a chaotic week. I'm finally getting around to getting all the episodes of AEW watched and reviewed done. Froggy is still out dealing with some family things. Hopefully she'll be back soon. We're going to jump right into it. February 25th, Dynamite from Denver, Colorado. They had comments at the start of the show from Babes of Wrath and Mega Bad ahead of their match later tonight for the tag championships. They also highlighted that they were having the Mile High Madness match featuring FTR and The Demand going up against the Young Bucks, the Rascals, and Jack Perry. The Bucks are pissed because FTR attacked their family last week on Collision Dynamite. First match on the show, Moxley versus El Clone in a Continental Championship Eliminator match. Moxley won this with a Death Rider at the end. I wasn't super stoked about it, but I didn't want Clone to get a loss on this early in his thing. I thought they could hold out until Hologram got back. But overall, this was a really good match. It was a lot slower of a start than I was expecting. Clone did his in and out through the ropes to head scissor Casadora thing, and that seriously just looks good. Moxley was able to take control when they went outside, start doing his new normal Moxley violence. 10-minute call, yeah. Nothing super major stuck out on it. It was a really good match, though. Clone does the inside to the outside moonsault going diagonally across the corners, which looks great. Mox cutter as Clone was trying to go for a dive after that, after he got some offense in. Yeah. 3.5 match. Moxley retains with the Death Rider after Portal Bomb countered to a paradigm shift followed with the Death Rider. Yeah, it wasn't a bad match. I just really didn't want to see Clone lose yet. But it's to build up. They've got that Takeshita Moxley match at Revolution, so they weren't going to put another loss on Moxley yet. They did a recap of the end of Dynamite, the Kenny and Swerve storyline, and then Nana came out to shoo the announcers away from the desk so that Swerve could come out and climb on top of it and deliver a promo and point out that they definitely reinforced the desk. He has no guilt for what he did to Kenny. He reaffirms that he's the most dangerous man in AEW. They had a backstage after that. Brody King responding. He's going to beat Mark Davis tonight and then show Swerve that Brody King is the most dangerous man in AEW. I can definitely get behind that. Match number 2, Orange Cassidy versus Gabe Kidd. There was a lost poster on Orange Cassidy's Tron for Roderick Strong. Apparently, since he walked out of the match last week, he has just been missing. They put a $15 reward out for him if anybody has seen Roderick Strong. Kidd starts very aggressively in this, as you would expect. Cassidy tries hunting for a quick pinfall, but can't get one done. Orange Cassidy gained momentum. Looks for the orange punch, but Kidd is able to counter strike and hit first on it. Orange goes to start doing the mind games, the slow chops and things to get into Kidd's head. It works. Kidd gets riled up, tries to put on for a pile driver, but Cassidy scoops him up, hits the beach break, gets a 2 count on that. Kidd pulls the ref in to block from getting orange punched again and gets up, gouges Cassidy's eyes, pulls him down, hits the jumping pile driver, gets the win. Afterward, Clark Connor comes running out. Both of them start beating down on Orange Cassidy, and then Darby comes out with his skateboard in hand to give the save. He takes out Connor's first, or no, he hits Kidd. He goes to the outside. Connors is still in the ring. turns around, sees Darby with the skateboard. Darby goes to roll the skateboard to him. When Connor bends over to pick it up, Darby hit him with the code red. Gets the run off, does the save. They'll set up for more than likely a tag match next week. 3-star match. It was fun. It was not... I don't think there was enough build for the heat between Kid and Orange Cassidy, but they're still working on this. They had a backstage segment then with Thunder Rosa and Statlander. They're going to be facing Sisters of Sin on Collision. Statlander was warning Thunder Rosa to be cautious because she's being very cocky since she has a shot at Tekla next week. Match number 3 was a standby match. Kevin Knight versus Mansoor. Good to see Mansoor back in. Bronami code is awesome, and I love watching them play games. Kevin Knight rolls out of the way of Mansoor's moonsaults. Pendulum DDT to the UFO splash for the win for Kevin Knight. This is just more building momentum on Kevin. He gets the mic afterward to talk to the crowd. Says that Hangman is going to win no matter the stipulation that MJF decides to put out for their match at Revolution. And he says that he wants to have the first shot at Hangman afterward. Next, that led up to the Hangman versus MJF face-off. Shivani welcomed Hangman out first. MJF then came out. MJF started with berating the crowd. Admits that Hangman's Gambit was a very bold move. But then he reminded Hangman of what happened to the last person that made this bet. Bye-bye, Cody. MJF offers a coin flip. Heads tells it would be a death match. Heads it's a no DQ one-way match. Hangman nonchalantly agrees, but warns MJF of what a Texas death match will do to him. Hangman doesn't want to leave no doubt that and that's why they go for the stipulation. They flip. It comes up heads. Max quickly grabs the coin, tries to scurry out. Hangman tells him, "Hey, let me see that quarter." And Max tries to run away. He gets stopped on the ramp by Jet Speed and Brody King, who make him go back, throw him back into the ring. The ref, or Tony Schiavone, gets the coin, proves that it was a doubleheader. Over the headset, TK makes the decision because MJF tried to rig the coin flip. The match will be Texas Death Match at Revolution. And he goes screaming off to go yell at Tony in the back. They had a post-match then after that from last week with the Brawling Birds. They don't give a flying fuck who they got to face. They want to wind up going up against for the women's tag titles, which match number 4, Mega Bad versus the Babes of Wrath for the women's tag titles. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time these teams have now faced. I'm getting really tired of seeing this pairing. Willow and Bane started it, trading shots, and Willow finally drops Bane with a shoulder tackle. Penelope gets the blind tag, but the advantage doesn't last as a tag to Harley sets up the backpacked senton onto her. Bane nails a really nice looking tope suicida for as tall as she is going between the ropes. Ford then tries to do a moonsault and kind of like splits the uprights in between the two. Cameron survived a lot of offense during the commercial break to get the hot tag into Willow, who managed to go on a bit of a run. And as Willow is taking it to Megan, Lena Cross comes running in out of fucking nowhere and nails her with the title, getting the match thrown out. So no contest match. I gave it a 2.5. I think what happened was that Penelope got hurt. The commentators mentioned it, and I noticed that she was down on the outside of the ring, outside like a lot early in the match. I think Penelope may have gotten hurt again, and they had to do a change on the end of this. But yeah, 2.5. I really want new women's tag teams in this. We need different teams badly. And not just, we're going to put a team up against some jobber combo. We need actual teams facing actual teams, actual competition happening. Match number 5, Brody King versus Mark Davis. They locked horns with nobody really getting the muscle advantage early on. They start trading shoulder blows, and then Brody starts going in with chops, and that's when Brody took over. There was a fun chant from the crowd, a fuck Don Callis, fuck Ice 2 chant. That was great. And then they went into just two big men trading meat. I love big, heavy men like this, just nailing each other. Davis tried for a choke, but Brody went after his damaged hand to get it off. Then they went back to just trading big, heavy blows until finally Brody dodged the big lariat, came back with one of his own, and finished it off for 3 on it. It was really good. I enjoyed this match a lot. I gave it a 4. Just because I love big meat matches like this. They do a thing for me. Brody calls out Swerve afterward and calls himself the most dangerous man. He wants Swerve at Revolution in a match to decide who's the most dangerous. Bandito also comes out to celebrate with Brody, and he wants to have a fight at Revolution, which causes Andrade to decide to walk out onto the ramp. So they're setting up for both of them to have matches on the big show. So here, Kyle Fletcher was the next one to come out. It says that Pinky, his new title, belongs to him and will never be going back to anybody else. Okada approached him backstage, wanting to get their tag team together and debut Proto-Okada. So they've set up a match for Collision. And then the main event of Dynamite, Mile High Madness. This was a very fun match. So much shit going on all over the place. Very hard to keep track and write anything down on this. They started off with a triple split screen to try and keep up with everything. Jack Perry's music just kept playing. I think they played through it like 1.5, almost 2 times. It was chaos everywhere. People doing high spots off of everything. FTR and the Bucks going and brawling out into the crowd, keeping each other busy out there. Bishop drop kicks Perry. Then Toa Leona just Bishop did a drop kick to Perry and knocks him into the barricade. And then Leoa just came running around and just fucking trucked him, boom, up and over the barricade. The Demand tried to do a lot of isolating on the Rascals during this match. But Myron Reed came in and saved one of them from Toa Leoa press slamming them off the stage. He hit him with a fire extinguisher spray. Perry pulled out a vacuum from underneath the ring and beat the crap out of a few of the guys with that. Nice big cloud of dust when he bust the canister open on someone. I guess that was a callback to Luchasaurus using a vacuum at one of his matches at some point. They had a 5-way super kick on Toa Leoa in order to take him out, which was a fun spot in the match. Perry tried for a pile driver on Toa Leoa, but got backdropped completely out of the ring and through a table. The Demand and FTR then hit big corner moves on one of the Rascals, but their team managed to get in and break it up. The Rascals did a really, really cool looking double team Spanish fly off the barricade in and onto a table, through a table. That was a really cool spot. Perry managed to get a power bomb, like a flip over power bomb off the apron on Leoa through a table to finally get him out of the match. FTR gets thrown into so one of the FTR guys was outside and they threw the other one through the ropes like a tope into his partner, and then they collapsed through a leaning table that was on the barricades outside. That isolated out Ricochet in the middle. He got hit with a bunch of shit, and then Perry nails him with the boot cycle knee to get the win. It was a 4-star match. This was your TV equivalent to getting Anarchy in the Arena. That I wish I could have been there for that. That would have been a fun one to be in the crowd and try and keep track of everything at. So here, that led to Saturday Collision on the 28th. MJF came out right at the start of the show on the mic, pissed off, angry, screaming that he wants Tony to change the match, not do this, he ain't happening. He was going to hold up the entire show. Kevin Knight came out. This boy is getting a lot of screen time. Comes out, says that he's been getting the job done, and now his job is to shut Max up. Knight manages to get underneath Max's skin enough to get Max to start challenging him and set up a match next week for the championship in El Paso. That basically ends that opening segment. We move on to the first match, an 8-man tag, the Death Riders versus Don Callis' family. The full male contingent of the Death Riders versus Roppongi Vice, Lance Archer, and Josh Alexander. Mox was on comm and Shafir was on ringside for the Death Riders. Rocky Romero started this match off for his team, going up against Darby or going up against Danny Garcia, and was able to hold his own against the smallest member of the Death Riders. But as soon as Pac tagged in, Rocky Romero got out. They tag out to Alexander, tag out again. Eventually Claudio gets in, and Claudio just holds the ring through Alexander, through Lance, through a double team from Roppongi Vice. Alexander eventually get him cleared out. Alexander gets Yuta isolated in the middle of the ring, tries to get his beanie off, but Claudio and Pac come in and clear him away. The Don Callis family wind up isolating Claudio to try and get it taken care of. But Claudio just unloads with uppercuts on everybody. Like, he's throwing massive uppercuts back and forth. Backs one guy into a corner, turns around, backs the other guy into the corner. Archer isolated Yuta and went after his hat, which led to Daniel Garcia distracting the ref so that Daniel Garcia distracted the ref so Shafir could run in and jump on Lance Archer's back and try and choke him out to stop him from getting it was a weird spot. It wasn't really necessary, but eventually Yuta hits a boost cycle knee on Rocky Romero after he got isolated. It gets the win for the Death Riders. It was a 2.5-star match for me. Not nearly as good as the night before Mayhem match. Afterward, Takeshita came out with a mic like he was going to say something, but instead of saying anything, he just went right after Moxley. And both sides started brawling. They fought until the commercial break. Came back, match number 2, Tommaso Ciampa versus Jay Lethal with the Swirl in his corner. Ciampa controlled this match early. Lethal was able to get some of his stuff in with the assistance of the Swirl. There was one really great spot that Lethal and Swirl did where Lethal hung Ciampa up sitting on the second rope facing out and then distracted the ref while Blake Christian ran across and then slid underneath, and as he slid underneath, he powerbombed back Ciampa off of the ropes down. It looked really good. Ciampa, though, turned it around. He gets the win with his big running knee strike. It was a 3-star match, a good match to put some momentum back behind Ciampa to get him. Okay, soon he will be getting his shot again at the TNT Championship. Probably, I'm betting that's going to probably be a 4-way or something match, a big multi-man match, which is fine. I like that for that championship. They had a video package from The Inspiration, who debuted at the Sydney's the Sydney House Rules show in Australia. They are on the lookout for the Brawling Birds because they showed up at the house show as well and kind of spoiled their debut. So next week, the Inspiration will be making their TV debut on Dynamite or Collision. Brawling Birds had their next match on the card. They were going up against Gypsy Mac and Tyra Rushmore. I didn't recognize either of them really. The Birds did their thing. Hayter started out with this. She beat up on one of the girls, then tossed her in the corner so that they would tag out so she could beat up on the other girl before finally tagging in Windsor. They really didn't let the other side get much offense in, so it kind of was a little bit of a boring match. They used double lariats to set up for their 2 birds, 1 stone finish, which is really just popping up the other person and pile drive or laying them out with a spine buster with a lariat lead in. So it was a 2-star match for me. After that, they did a video setting up a 4-way $200,000 tag match. The Swirl will be in it, LFI, the Outrunners, and Private Party. So that will be good match on Collision. Match number 4 was Protokada coming in to face off against Top Flight. Kyle Fletcher and Okada have great synergy together. I actually really like that combination a lot. Between the way that Kyle sets things up and will distract the ref and Okada's cheapness and ability to be cheap on the outside and grab a foot, it worked really well. Darius Martin showed a lot of agility and time in the ring in this. He looked really good, especially going up against Okada. But Rainmaker from Okada on Darius. Okada then tags in Kyle just for the fun of it so that Kyle can nail a brainbuster and get the pin. It was a 3-star match. It was good. It did what it needed to. It didn't overstay itself. I liked it. Kyle grabbed the mic to start bragging. Jet Speed, though, comes out. These motherfuckers. Jet Speed comes out. It's actually Mike Bailey on the mic first. He comes out and starts challenging. He's challenging Kyle. You've got Kevin Knight then turning around and challenging Okada. You got both of them then challenging the Don Callis family to find whoever they can get for a third person because they want to challenge for the tag titles and they want to do a tag match. Like, they are wanting to face them for any match that they possibly can. Match number 5, Toni Storm versus Zeta Steel. Zeta Steel was actually looking really good in this, getting coached up by Christopher Daniels on the outside. She tries to bring the pressure onto Toni, but Toni, being a veteran, manages to keep control through this. The end saw Toni Storm hitting the hip attack and a Storm Zero to get the pinfall. 2-star match. It was good, though, to see Zeta Steel getting reps, and she is looking a lot better. I think that she will develop nicely into a good talent for the women's division. After the match, Shafir jumped in to go after Toni. Yuta came in to try and break it up and pull Shafir off, and while Yuta was in there, Toni Storm manages to rip off his beanie so that we all get to see his really nicely shaved head. He doesn't look too horrible. See here, they had a backstage thing of Hook walking through the back, recruiting, where he walked up to some random guy, was like, "Hey, you want to join the ops?" "Yeah, I bet you do," and then tries to walk off. Bowens comes up to him and so basically offers to join the ops, but Hook questions whether or not Bowens is a killer, wants to see what he can do. He'll think about it, so expect Bowens to attack somebody next week to show that he's a killer. Rosa starts looking. See, this got us into match number 6. The main event? No, not the main event. We're 7 on Collision. Damn. Match number 6 was Sisters of Sin versus Statlander and Rosa. Rosa started off. She is looking good for being gone out of the ring for so long. The Sisters of Sin kept finding offensive openings but couldn't get any of the pinfalls. Rosa eventually got tagged in stat towards the end, who was able to hit the Saturday Night Fever. And then the Fire Thunder Driver from Rosa gets him the pin. 3-star match. Again, this is another one where I've seen the Sisters of Sin in so many of the tag matches as a heel tag team that I'm over it. I need something different. And then after the match, Tekla came out to do her usual, I'm toxic, you're not, yeah. It was just a meh on it for her promo at the end. The main event was Andrade El Idolo versus Tomohiro Ishii, which honestly, like, even looking at that, I don't know why you did it that way. I would have put the Sisters of Sin and Statlander and Rosa as the main, because that's two women who were former world champions versus a guy who two guys that haven't held championships in this company. But, okay. It is what it is, booking wise. Tony, listen to me. Ishii started moving. Ishii isn't moving very well. Like, I know he's a bigger guy and he's old, but he's carrying on a hip problem, I guess, from last week. Andrade was easily able to weather Andrade's strikes and suplexes. Andrade nailed the DM, got his finish in it. It was a 2.5. Again, this was not a match that there was any real build to. I don't understand. Other than we need to keep Andrade with wins to keep him in the world title picture. After the match, Bandito came out to still the moment, which caused Andrade to rip off his pants to show his yellow knee pads and yellow tights that underoos tights that he was wearing. Bandito tries to shake Andrade's hand, but Andrade refuses, so Bandito just stands there pointing his finger gun at him until they go off the air. I mean, it was a way to close out the show. I guess these double shows are kind of hard to figure out how to write your Collision episode after a Dynamite like that, but yeah, that's it for the show. That finished up AEW shows for February. Hopefully we can get this next week a little more under control and not struggle so much to get it watched and all done. If you liked the show, hit the like button. If you got any comments, questions, anything you want to say, leave it in the comments below. We have plenty of time to read it. And yeah, hit the bell icon so you can find out when we post our next one, and we'll check you guys out in the next episode. Later.